All right, it was a simple assignment last night. 3 of us starting to work on our what they call sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene is making sure you're getting enough sleep, but doing the things before you go to sleep to make sure you get good, solid, deep, refreshing sleep. And a lot of people now are saying it starts with turning that dang electronics off like an hour before you go to bed, right? Read a book. Do something that's going to bore you to sleep.
Essentially.
Right? So your mind is turned off, right? Mm-hmm. So Kristen is struggling with it. Jackson is struggling with it. It's been probably my lifelong struggle is getting into deep sleep. So step number 1, let's see who's going to just turn your stuff off 1 hour before we go to bed.
Now, to be fair, I jumped on this because of my addiction to my electronics and my phone. I'm not trying to rub it in your face. I sleep pretty good.
I hate you.
I sleep pretty sound. I will wake up in the morning and Bart will be like, "Did you hear when I had to get the dog? I get up at 3 a.m. to take the dogs outside?" And I was like, "Nope."
Incredible.
That is a flex.
Wow. Did you hear when Jimmy was asking for water at 3 a.m.? And I'm like, "Nope."
Amazing.
So
yeah, my girl can fall asleep in like 30 seconds, which makes watching a TV show with her impossible. Impossible.
But I will admit that I have a very unhealthy relationship with my phone and with television. And I'm starting to see that trickle down to my son, who had a complete meltdown when we took his little TV, aka his tablet, away from him.
Right.
And I'm like, I need to start setting better examples.
Yeah, sure. So I woke up this morning and I was feeling pretty refreshed. First thing I did was check out my gadgets to tell me how I was sleeping. And once again, I got like 15 minutes of deep sleep, like nothing, which is nothing. So unhealthy. However, our assignment was put everything down an hour before you go to sleep, which I did do last night.
You did?
Yeah, I bought a book and I started reading it on Kindle.
What time was that?
It was around 9:15ish. Okay. I just wasn't tired at all. So I would normally start a little bit earlier than that, but it was 9:15. So I got this superficial book, Everybody Loves You When You're Dead by Neil Strauss. And it's about a whole bunch of celebrities and what their lives were like. So I started reading that and I dozed off. I felt pretty good about it, but it changed nothing. It changed nothing, at least not the first night.
I'm curious, does Kindle not allow blue light? Because that's a screen.
I don't know. It's certainly, I don't know. I mean, does it have to be like a hardcover or softcover, like Pages?
No. I'm all about reading, even if it's on a Kindle. But a Kindle technically is a screen. I just want to make sure Kindle knows that there's no blue light there.
There is.
There's blue light?
Yeah, not as much. Not enough to be damaging, but yeah, that's a blue light device.
Dang it.
Old school, man. Pick up a book. Why are you so afraid of this?
Amazon is going to be shocked today when somebody buys a paper book online.
That's what I buy all the time.
Okay.
I'm like, I hate to break it to you, Podge, but that's a screen.
Dang it.
You're reading on it, but it's a screen.
I thought I had the option when I bought it to get like the blue light one or not, but I'll have to go look back at that. All right, Jackson, how did you brought this on us?
I did. I need to know if this is cheating or not, okay?
Yes.
So I realized last night, because I turned my phone off at about 9:30.
I thought our goal was 9.
Well, I was up a little bit. I was going to be up a little bit later.
Okay.
Anyway.
Whatever an hour is,
before,
I think, before. And that can vary a little bit.
Because I had my reminder set that you see for 9 o'clock last night.
Okay.
I was ready to go, turned it off. And then I realized that I can't remember the last time that I went to sleep without listening to something. Like, I almost always fall asleep with my AirPods in because I turn the noise canceling on and that helps me go to sleep. So I couldn't fall asleep for almost an hour. And so I realized that maybe if I just turned a podcast on. So I looked at my phone for 2 seconds to turn a podcast on and then I was able to fall asleep. Is that okay?
I don't think listening to a podcast would qualify because, again, you're stimulating your mind. And what this is supposed to do is just chill you the F out.
I see.
I thought he was talking about having to look at the phone to find the podcast because technically that's looking at your phone.
Yeah, that's like the blue light, right?
That's cheating.
Yeah, but that would just be real quick. But I think it's the sound that's probably keeping you up.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. We got to go dark.
Try white noise.
Yeah.
I think it's so interesting to me that y'all struggle with this. I'm done with my phone by 7:30 every night.
What? Absolutely not.
Every night.
You are superhuman.
Yeah.
It's like I'm excited to be done with my phone. I look forward to it.
I feel like if I'm done with my phone at 7:30, then I get a bunch of emails first thing in the morning that were mad at me that I didn't answer their emails after 7:30 last night.
And that's on them.
Yes.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to turn your brain off.
Yeah.
Like I put my phone on do not disturb at 8, and only like a select few people can actually get through to my phone.
Well,
After that,
I do
the
that
night
as
is over.
well. But you saying, what do you do?
Normally from like 7:30 to 8, I'll just relax. Like 7 to 8, I'll catch up on a show. I
Okay.
usually watch an episode of a show, but I'm done with my phone. And then 8 o'clock, I will read from 8 to 8:30 every night. And then 8:30, I try to go to sleep. And usually I'm asleep by 9:30. That's my routine.
Wow.
I'm going to have to keep the phone literally out of another room in order to do that. Because if it's in the room, then I don't even realize that I'm reaching for it and scrolling. I'm watching a TV show and I'm scrolling at the same time. Your mind can't go off. How was yours?
I did very well.
Okay.
My phone was down at 8:58, even though Jimmy had a late bedtime last night, so I didn't get as much me time. And that's where in my brain, I'm like, okay, so I put him to bed. He didn't go to bed to 8:30 because he took a long nap. So I'm like, I deserve more me time. But I was still going to bed at the same time. So that me time, whether I wanted it or not, was not going to be there. So I put the phone down at 8:58. I was really into my crime doc, Mo.
Which one?
The one that I found, the Fox Hollow murders.
That's on my list. I added it to the list.
Oh my God.
So you're listening or watching?
Watching.
Watching true crime before you go to bed.
That's the only reason I didn't start it, is because that's where you got me beat. I can't watch it right before bed.
Oh.
I won't sleep well.
I'm a dark person. I don't know what's wrong with me. But
So you're watching that before you go to sleep.
Yes.
So that's probably not counting either.
Well, but that went off at 9:17.
Okay.
So, because normally I would have watched that till 10:30.
Okay.
And so I didn't, because my bedtime is typically 10, right? And so I was like 20 minutes over. But at 9:17, even though I ended an episode on a cliffhanger and I wanted to start the next one, I didn't.
Should it be this hard? Should it be this hard? Because I think as a group we got a D.
Yeah.
A D today. All right. We'll try it again tomorrow. What an exciting time for Abby. Buying your first house. It's very exciting until it's not.
It's exciting until you get dumped by the house that you're trying to buy. It is funny how buying a house is so much like dating. Like I feel like every time I would go to a home showing, it'd be like getting dressed up to meet potentially the love of your life.
It is, and like Zillow is almost like Tinder. I mean, I got addicted to it, man. Even when I found like my house, I was just like addicted at looking at other people's homes and what came on the market, even though I didn't have the cash to buy anything.
And it feels simpler because it tells you who's in your league and who's not in your league. I'm like, well, there's $700,000 out of my league. $200,000, probably out of their league. So
and you do start to realize like the quality of home has, I'm not exactly sure what the correct block is, but you can tell like between $100,000, like you get something totally different.
It's insane. And the prices of houses right now, according to real estate TikTok, they're really inflated right now. So it's becoming a buyer's market. So it's sort of like the tides are shifting a little bit into the favor of people like me who are looking for their home and looking for a good deal. And yeah, I feel like every time I was going for a showing, I'd be getting dressed up for a date, kind of sussing out the real estate and just seeing if this was going to be a good fit for me for the next couple of years or so.
I remember asking my first real estate agent and looking at my first house, do I have to dress nicely for this? And they're like, they don't care. They just want your green, man. They couldn't care less what you're wearing.
I have found that a lot of these places want you to take your shoes off though, which is very weird because I don't wear a lot of socks and now I'm just like raw dogging it through people's homes.
And let's be, when you go look at a house, the owners are not there. They're instructed to leave property, so they're not going to see you regardless.
Yeah, but I'm always a little bit curious if they're watching on the security cameras, seeing what you're doing.
They probably
how you're
are.
talking about
Sure,
their
they
house,
watch
you know.
it for sure.
They're instructed to leave their homes, but I actually ran into the person that I made an offer on their home for. So I'll kind of back up. So anyway, I've been looking for a home for a couple of months and then I got trigger shy and then I like stopped looking for one and then I decided, screw it, let me just do it. So but without giving you the whole backstory of how many homes I looked at, I'll just tell you that I found a place that I really, really loved and it felt right in my gut. I was like, this just feels like it's going to be a really good decision. It feels like it's also a very good investment. This is something that I think is actually going to be beneficial to my life and to my bank account. So I came to a conclusion one day that I was going to put an offer on this home. And I came in very naive. I'm like, it's going to be great. I'm going to give them this offer and they're going to love it. They're going to be so excited. They're going to see my money and they're going to want to take it. And that is not how this process has gone.
You are so cute.
Isn't she adorable?
So bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I was like, I got my big old loan. The big loan man says I can afford a house, so it let me in. So we do the whole thing. It was absolutely terrifying. I had to cancel all my plans for that day because I was just in a cold sweat thinking, what am I doing? This is very terrifying, doing it on my own. I know I give off like rich private school energy, but this is just me. Mommy and daddy are not coming to save me. So I put in the offer, and then 24 hours later, they're like, haha. No. And then they counter, which you expect them to do. And then you do what you do in any negotiation. You do another number and you say, hey, what about this one? And my real estate agent told me that this seller did something that she has never seen happen in her XY years amount of real estate. So I counter another number or whatever, and then I get the other offer back. And I'm thinking we're about to meet somewhere in the middle. I have a number in my head where I think we're going to end up. And I'm thinking we're about to get closer to that. And we get the counter offer back and they went up in price. And my real estate agent is like, I don't know why they did that. My flabbers were gasted. I'm looking at this, be like, this is not
how you negotiate.
That's not how. No, like, did you not watch the masterclass on YouTube on how negotiations go?
It's like this. She comes in like you're trying to buy an apple. I'll pay $5 for that apple. No, my apple is worth $8. All right, well then I'll pay you $6. No, you're going to pay me $22. That's exactly how it went.
Is it possible somebody else came in while you guys were negotiating and put an offer in that was higher? So all of a sudden they started to raise the price of what they wanted on the house?
This house this condo has only received one other offer, and that deal fell through. So it's just me. This home has been on the market for 9 months. I thought this was a slam dunk.
Oh, now we know why.
Yeah, right.
No, we literally know why now, because we're like, this is a beautiful place. It's in a great location. It's pretty well priced. Like, it's gorgeous. Like, what is going on here? So the price goes up, and I go, Hannah Wehunt from the Justin Landis group, shout out. What do I do? And she's like, why don't you think about it? And so I go to my mom and I go to my dad and I tell them what happened. I'm like, I don't like it. And they went up such a minuscule amount that I'm like, you just did this to be a D-bag.
I was
Like,
going to say, I would take this personal.
like, why are we going to war over $2,000? Like, this
People
is
play
so
mind games.
It's so random. So my mom said, well, my friend, blah, 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 when they were looking to buy their family home, they actually wrote a letter to the seller to like convince them to let you buy their home. And so that's what I did.
You did.
Here's a dramatic reading of the letter that I wrote them.
Okay.
Dear insert seller's name, I can't tell you how much your home has captured my heart. As a single woman searching for her first home, I've imagined this moment for so long, but I never expected to find a place that felt so right. From the moment I stepped inside, I could see myself building a life here. It's not just a home. It's a fresh start. A dream realized in a space where I can create memories for years to come. I know this home has been special to you, and I want you to know that I will cherish it just as much. You can already picture the quiet mornings and blah, 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 blah. I love your place, take your money, blah, 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 blah. And I'm writing it all down, and I'm looking at this. I'm like, this is desperate. Like, this is the equivalent of getting broken up with and going to their doorstep and being like, take me back, please.
Abby, what happened after our conversation where I was like, you can't make it personal?
I took it personally. But I would like you to know that I ripped up that letter.
You did.
Okay, good.
I threw it
They would have
away.
went up more.
Because I thought if now I know how much
For
you
sure.
want.
Yeah.
They for sure would have.
They
When they
would've.
know you want the house that
Yes.
much, that plays against you.
I know. So I thought if I have to beg you to take my money, and it's such a minuscule amount, this is just a sign that we are not compatible. So I had to break up with my first love.
Did you?
And walk away, and I will not be living in that place. Screw you!
Over $2,000
It was-
is bizarre.
It's so weird. I'm like, I thought we were so close. Like, this is so dumb. Like, literally, take my money. Do you want my money or not? And they don't.
I really do think that I'm trying to put myself in your place. Over $2,000. Had I had it, I would have just gone, okay, I'm getting screwed here, but I'm going to give you the $2,000. Because in the overall life of the mortgage, you're talking about pennies a month.
For me, because prices and blah, 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 real estate, prices are kind of inflated because people bought them during a time when things things were appreciating more. I'm like, I don't want to buy it at that price in case in 2 years it's not at that price anymore, and then I'm SOL. So, yeah. Bye.
There's something better for you.
Yeah.
No, there's not, Mo. I'm going to be getting woken up by my apartment fire alarm for the next 10 years.
It's fun until it's not. One of us is about to confess. Is it you, Abby?
It is not me.
Nothing to confess.
That I can remember.
Mo.
It is not me.
It is not I, Cassie.
Nope.
It is Kristen.
I got to come clean. But before I come clean, I need some goodwill. Happy birthday, Katie! Thank you.
It's going to take more than that.
I know. All right. In January, I did dry January. Did not have a sip of alcohol the entire month. And I was like, you know what? Let's keep this trend going in February, but not with alcohol because mama needs it. So I was going to give up true crime for the month of February, right?
Yep.
Because a lot of people have been sending me this meme or post or whatever that a psychiatrist or psychologist says, you're pretty messed up if you watch true crime to relax. And you can't disagree with it.
They have a point.
I mean, they have a point.
You're in the same boat, right?
I am. I love true crime.
So I was like, all right, just to see if it may have an effect on my psyche, I'm going to give it up for the month of February and just see how I feel by the end of the month. Now, here we are almost halfway through March, and I feel comfortable letting you know that I, under no circumstances, gave up true crime in the month of February.
What day was it that you gave in?
The first day.
The first day. You
Yeah.
didn't even try,
There
really.
wasn't an effort.
No, there was not. Because I had a long drive ahead of me. So, and when I'm on a long drive, I listen to podcasts, and the podcasts I listen to are true crime documentaries. And so I 1000% listened to a true crime documentary. I think it was February 1st.
This is so interesting to me that alcohol was easier to give up than true crime. Like, why is it so addicting for you?
Good question.
It's a great question.
That's why I asked it.
I wish I had an answer for it. I think it's just because I don't want to say it's my form of entertainment because that seems very macabre, but it's because the reasons why I find it fascinating, I don't think are sick and twisted because I like seeing the justice of somebody getting caught. I do think there is something to be learned about the insights and the minds of people who do heinous things. And then I also too feel I only watch things where families are involved, family and friends are involved in the docuseries, and I feel like it helps them. Like in some, like this is kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? It's cathartic. Cathartic. Thank you. It's cathartic to them. It's a way to remember their loved one, etc. So I don't like watching things that glorify it, which is why I never watched the Dahmer series. That was the scripted Dahmer series. So I'm just trying to figure.
I do think in the overall scheme of things, it's healthier. I mean,
it's healthier than alcohol. Yes, because
Right.
I'm not poisoning my body every day.
I mean, I'm glad you didn't say, look, I was on a long car ride and I just had to break out a bottle of wine.
You're not poisoning your body, but are you poisoning your mind?
Oh, is it healthier?
See,
Yeah.
I honestly, I would love for a professional to weigh in, even because like it's one thing to send this post that says a quote unquote psychiatrist says you're jacked up, and I'm putting it in my own words. If you watch this to relax, or if you watch it at night before you go to bed.
I feel like at least it's healthier that you know why you watch it and what you get out of it.
Yes.
Because I honestly don't. Like my dad watched it when we were younger, and that is literally the only reason I think I still watch it today.
I think it's a really kind of a broader question also, and one that I'm really starting to get in a tune with lately is what we are putting into our brains and our body now as far as social media goes, what we're listening to. The capacity now for me to be online as long as I used to is over for me because everything I'm looking at, I'm realizing is just so incredibly negative. So turning on a podcast that I guess it's negative. True crime. I mean, it's negative. It's just how much can the human body take without
Yes.
it really pulling away from life?
And that's what I was supposed to figure out. in the month of February, but I did not.
I gave up dating apps longer than that.
Oh, absolutely. I don't even think it was 24 hours.
It's tough, man.
Yeah. And so, and like the one I'm watching right now, that because Mo and I do have this similarity, and because we both watch them. Again, it feels so weird to say enjoy because that's
just say watch. We watch.
Yeah. But that's like my preference. Because I don't like watching like scripted shows. I don't like watching scripted comedies anymore. I mean, there's only a handful of scripted shows I actually enjoy. Everything else is a documentary. So I did try to give up the murder by watching the docuseries like Scamanda and watching the one about Ruby Frankie. But again, this is about a chick that was faking cancer, and this was about a woman that was doing unnice things to her children.
Right.
So I'm not really finding, I'm not replacing it with positivity. I'm just replacing it with not murder.
How much of us, or how many of us, really spend any time during the day searching out stuff that like nourishes us rather than stuff that's thrown in front of us that is negative?
I started doing that.
What do you do?
Well, because for a while I was on like a true crime kick, and then I just realized I had really bad anxiety and depression. It was making it worse, and all the headlines were making it worse. So I stopped doing that, and I started to feel better. And then I found out about something called Lucky Girl Syndrome, which is where you have a processing center at the back of your brain that can only like process a set amount of information in a minute, where you're bombarded with like billions of bits of information, and your brain has to decide what it's going to look at, which is why if you're shopping for a red car, you might start seeing red cars everywhere. It's because your brain's already looking for them subconsciously. So now when I wake up, I'm like, I say stuff like, I'm so lucky, I'm going to have a great day today. And then I start looking for moments. So if I like spill my coffee, but it doesn't get over my shirt, instead of being like, I spilled my coffee, it's, oh my God, I didn't get on my shirt. Thank God I'm lucky. And what it's done is started training my brain to look at moments in a positive way. So I keep looking for what I call the glimmers. So if there's something beautiful I see, like stupid, like sunlight coming through tree leaves, and I really like it, I'll be like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. I'm so lucky I got to witness that today. And it sounds stupid and hallmarky. But when I started getting content purposely looking for content online and in my life that was positive, my brain started noticing it by itself more often without me having to do it. So I'm training my brain, and it's really helped me not feel like in a depressive spiral on a rock hurtling through space with no control over anything.
I really was sure that if I could just postpone this wild thought that my girlfriend Amanda had till tomorrow morning, she would realize it's kind of a crazy idea. Oh, I don't know what I was thinking. And we would just push it down the road a little bit, right? So maybe our sleep aids had kicked in, and Amanda starts talking about, I've told you guys before, Amanda just loves like themed parties. She loves throwing dinner parties. She just loves having people. She just loves this, which is so out of my comfort zone. But she's suggesting parties all the time, right? So one night right before we're about to crash, things are nice and quiet. And she says, oh my God, I got an idea. I'm like, what's up? She's like, well, our birthdays are so close to each other. Why don't we just throw like a dueling birthday party? I'm like, okay.
A joint birthday party.
Joint birthday party sounds really fun.
Well, you say dueling like you guys are going to be competing, but you're doing it in conjunction
I'd
together.
have been totally on the joint birthday party.
That would have been funny if that would have been like the invitation. Joint birthday party.
So I'm like, okay, she's already broken me in that I already know that arguing with a woman, or this woman in particular, when she has an idea in her head, that I'm going to lose that. So I just, okay, that sounds great. You like dinner parties? I like dinner parties. So then she says, oh, you know what I've always wanted to do, or always wanted to go to? A rave.
A rave?
A rave. She's like, Bert, we are throwing a birthday rave.
A birthday rave.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure what a rave is.
How can you throw a rave if you've never been to a rave?
Right.
Exactly.
such a good question.
That's very well. You could always research these things. So a rave would be like, how do you explain it?
But firsthand experience, I think, would lend to a more ravish experience.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I mean, Cassie, you and I, we've had some really awesome Vegas clubs that were like rave-esque, but I can't say that I've been to. I feel like a rave is in like this warehouse of a city in like some sketch area, and you have to know a password to get into it. And it's like 3 a.m. in the morning, and you know the edible has kicked in, and you walk in, and there's lasers, and like house music pumping, and everybody's got glow sticks, and you have like black lights everywhere, and then you end up like crawling out at like 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, they're generally like a rave demographic is about 22 years old.
Got it.
Okay. So she's not 22, and neither am I. So when she brought this idea up, I said to her, hey, let's just table this till tomorrow morning, you know, when we can both focus on it, knowing that she would wake up the next morning and go, that was a weird idea. That must have been the sleep aid. So we wake up the next morning and she's like, okay, so let's start planning the rave. And I'm like, so you're serious about this thing, huh?
She's like a dog with a bone. She's not going to let it go.
I mean, she is not. So we are going to be throwing a birthday rave in just a couple of weeks. So she's doing most of the planning on it.
What time does your rave start?
7 o'clock.
No, it doesn't.
It's a geriatric rave.
That is a totally geriatric rave. Now, I had suggested to her, half joking, but then I thought, you know what? Let's do this because we don't want to feel our age. We are going to manipulate all the clocks in the house to say that it's 11 o'clock.
Fun fact.
Not 7 o'clock.
Your rave doesn't start at 7. It starts at 6 p.m.
No, it starts at 7.
Are you sure?
I am sure.
All right.
That I am sure because I asked her for details because she's the one that's planning the whole thing. So our rave will be at 7 o'clock and it will still be light out. So we've already figured out that we've got to have like blackout curtains, tin foil on the windows or something. What?
Cassie, what's the invitation say?
6 p.m.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
She literally wrote to me in a text, starts at 7.
You all don't even know what time your party starts.
So I think that what is happening is the 6 o'clock is the food part and the rave actually starts at the 7.
Okay, it's a catered rave. Yeah, those are my favorite.
Oh, I wonder what kind of charcuterie boards are going to be at this rave.
No. It's not going to be a charcuterie board. She has told me that there's going to be tapas and finger foods at our rave.
Ooh, grab your mozzarella stick before we head to the basement for the rave.
Finger cucumber sandwich.
Also sticking with our age, it is going to be a silent rave. So we are all going to be wearing the headphones on. So it's like a silent disco.
We're not a rave.
This is a cruise ship rave.
This is great. The headphones are going to block out the birds chirping outside at 6:30 when you're trying to get it on.
And then she hits me with this exclamation point after glow sticks, black lights, smoke, and lasers. Over by 9:30. Our rave starts at 7 and it will be over by 9:30.
You know, that's the kind of rave I can get behind.
O is determined to get you interested in sports. No, not for scores or championships or anything like that. But there are always interesting like stories and subjects going on. And this week, LeBron James sticking up for his son has sort of crossed the line and people aren't exactly sure how to feel about it.
It seems like this is the debate that's been all over my timeline all weekend on if LeBron James was just being a good father or if he was actually being a poor sport. And so LeBron James is the most popular NBA basketball player in the world. And Stephen A. Smith is probably the most popular sports analyst in the world who works for ESPN. They've had a bit of a relation, like a go back and forth with each other for years. They don't really like each other too much. And
There's a history there?
It's a history there. I mean, Stephen A. sees it as he's just doing his job and he's reporting on what he sees. LeBron doesn't really like to be criticized at all. So
Most goats don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Stephen is loud and he's aggressive and he speaks his mind and never holds back, and that offends a lot of players.
I feel like he's always yelling at me.
He is always yelling. That's true. And I guess LeBron has had enough. And LeBron decided that this time he was going to be the one doing the yelling. And so this all really came to a head because if you're not familiar, LeBron actually made it to where his son Bronny can play in the NBA with him on the Lakers. A lot of people feel like that
Nepo
only happened.
baby.
Exactly. And there were other people who may have deserved the opportunity more, but because he's LeBron James, he gets what he wants.
And you could see like his son going out there and trying when he's not in like a lesser league. When they bring him up to play for the Lakers, he's out there, but God bless him, he just doesn't have it yet.
And if he were anyone else and he wasn't LeBron James' son, he wouldn't get this amount of media coverage, which I believe that's where LeBron is coming from, is don't report on him simply because he's my son. Because if he weren't my son and he was playing this way, he wouldn't be the first topic on First Take on ESPN.
But that's part of the story, man. You can't erase that part of the story because that's part of the story.
So that's the other side of it. And when the world saw LeBron James approach Stephen A. Smith at front court of a Laker game, mind you, this was not like halftime. This wasn't after the game. This wasn't before the game. This was like in the middle of the third quarter during a TV timeout.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Really?
Yes, I think the Lakers were even losing. And you can literally see in the video, LeBron is kind of having that moment of, yeah, I'm going to do it. Yep, he's right there. There's a perfect time and opportunity. And he gets up and he goes over and he walks directly up to Stephen A. Smith and he starts yelling at him. And Stephen A. Smith was forced to respond about what transpired in that moment on ESPN the next day.
I can't sit here and be angry or feel slighted by LeBron James in any way in that regard. By all accounts, he's obviously a wonderful family man and a wonderful father who cares very, very deeply about his son. And based on some of the comments that he had heard, or shall I say, I think he thought he heard, he clearly took exception to some of the things that he heard me say, and he confronted me about it. For the record, his agent and friend, Rich Paul, has my number. Maverick Carter, who works under him, has my number. LeBron James knows how to get in contact with me if he wanted to. He never called, because had he called and wanted to talk to me, I would have accepted that call. Had he wanted to see me, I would have flown out and I would have seen him and I would have had a conversation man to man.
So he's not being entirely honest there, because I was watching Stephen A. when he first started talking about this a couple of weeks ago, when he looks right in the camera and he says to LeBron, from a father to another father, you need to stop doing this to your son.
So that's where...
That's what triggered LeBron?
That's what triggered LeBron, and that's what switched for me. But because before I knew that part, I was completely against what LeBron did, because I felt like you put your son in this position. Mm-hmm. You can't put your son in the position that he's in and not expect people to talk about him. That's going to happen. Like with what we do for a living, we can't have opinions and expect people not to have opinions about our opinions.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes. And I felt like it wasn't anything wrong with LeBron standing up for his son, but you did it with all of the cameras there, knowing that it was going to go viral. You did it in a moment where it was like, it's Stephen A. Smith. LeBron is not going to get any points for yelling at Stephen A. Smith in this way. And I thought it was over Stephen A. just commenting on Bronny's game, which felt too much to me. But then LeBron was seen on the sideline speaking to Richard Jefferson, a former NBA player, saying, I don't care about any of that. But when he got on that platform and said, I'm pleading to you from father to father, that's when LeBron felt like, okay, now you are questioning my fatherhood. And that's why he was as offended as he was. And when I heard that, I understood.
Yeah, because he's not attacking his sportsmanship or his gameplay. He's attacking his parenting.
Exactly. So now I kind of switched and was like, oh, now I'm with LeBron on that one.
Because listen, everybody knows on The Real Housewives, kids are off limits. Same should be for the NBA and ESPN.
I agree.
Kids are off limits.
So yesterday, I asked you guys to bring in a list of break the rules bucket list items, things you normally wouldn't do. And we put a list together and see if we can actually do a couple of these things.
Most of ours are illegal. We're not gonna
What's that? Some of them are illegal.
Yeah.
Yep. But there are P1s and there are next level P1s. I want to read a couple of DMs from you guys that I got yesterday based on this bucket list. So a few of mine were, one was I would really like to dress up, pretend to be a valet one day, and then have a car pull up, say, hey, thank you for coming to the blah, 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 and then take the car around the block. Really nice car.
But yeah, I was going to say, what kind of car would you
It's
like?
got to be a nice car.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm not going to risk that. Grand Theft Auto.
On a Nissan Sentra?
on a 2005.
I'm too little for that.
We should have like a cop or a judge call in and tell us the time in jail for each of our bucket list items.
Okay, that's good. I did get a DM early this morning. I work valet at the Four Seasons White Lotus Season 1. So I'd have to go to Maui to do this. But if you want to take a car around the block, I gotcha.
Look at somebody letting you get a crime off.
So that was this morning. Thank you, Joshua. Now this one
No,
is
it wouldn't be a crime. Well, then it wouldn't really be a bucket list item. Like if they signed you on to be a valet for a day.
not the same.
It's not the same.
No.
Yeah.
I need the rush
Yeah.
of knowing I'm doing something wrong, right?
Yeah.
And the Four Seasons Maui, you
Yeah.
know there's going to be some really nice cars there.
Yeah.
Then there's next level, okay? One of mine yesterday was I have never punched anybody in the face. I've never felt what it's like to have fist on flesh.
The crunch of the knuckles.
Yes.
Ooh.
Now, you've done it when it comes to boxing. You've had gloves on. Have you ever actually punched somebody in the face?
Without gloves?
Yeah.
A couple times.
Oh, really?
I got into a lot of fights in school when I was younger. Yeah. I lived in Brooklyn. That's what we did.
So I've been fantasizing a little bit about that, right? And I get this DM. Hey, Bert, I listened to your segment about what you want to do at least once. I have listened since y'all have been on the air. So if you want to punch someone in the face, I'm down. I used to box and did jujitsu for years. I happen to be back in town this week. So if you want to do it, I'm down. Just let me know.
This man volunteered his face.
So I wrote back, you would straight up let me punch you in the face with no gloves on. And his response was, yeah, sure, why not?
Is he okay?
Well,
No, he's been hit in the head one too many times.
well, the second line indicates to me maybe he's not. I don't really have to worry about how I look, is what he says. I'm a truck driver now. And most likely, you won't give me a black eye. Okay, now that's a challenge.
That is a challenge.
Okay? My face doesn't really swell up from getting hit. So, yeah, I'm good. Ha ha.
What?
He probably figured since you have no prior training and you've never done it, like, what's the worst one your first punch in the face could be?
Yeah, and he probably is right. But then when I was thinking about it yesterday, it can't be like that. It has to be like in a fight. Like, I don't think I could just have somebody in front of me and just punch them in the face.
They just say, go ahead, put it there.
I don't have that gear. Could you just punch somebody in the face voluntarily? It's like, come on, give it to me, buddy.
Is there a waiver for that?
That's why I stopped boxing, because I couldn't be angry at my opponents anymore. And it was like, this is not fun.
It's not working.
mad.
Abby, we would 1,000. Yeah, if our operations manager Tracy is listening right now, she's thinking in her head all for the legalities and like how many different waivers we would have to get that man to sign.
Oh, yeah, I would have to do this off property, I think. All right, so we've got a Bert Show listener here. We're going to call her Zoe. Man, is she in a tight spot right now because she got married and then found out something about this dude that she should have found out way before they got married. Hey, Zoe.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Okay, you sent us this email a few days ago. Tell them what's going on. This is so strange.
So I'm just hoping to get some advice. I was set to get married to have the ceremony in August, and I found out my fiancé has two kids that I never knew about.
So wait,
And
so you're not married yet, Zoe. You're set to get married this August and just found out this information.
we got legally married in Vegas in December because we were supposed to get legally married because our wedding is to be in Mexico. So we had to get legally married before we had the ceremony there.
Okay,
Gotcha.
so you are legally married.
But doing your ceremony for friends and family this August.
Right.
Okay, there's so much to unpack here. So, A, how did you find out?
Yeah.
B, did he come clean? And why had he hidden it for so long?
So I found out because my sister found it odd that his family never came to like any of the engagement events, like the family gatherings and stuff like that. And so she hired a PI and she went with her intuition without telling me. And she found out that he had two kids that I never knew about. And when I confronted him about it, he denied it. He basically told me that he was willing to take a DNA test. So I was like, okay, that's odd. And I was like, so I found the woman from the information that they gave me. And I messaged her on Facebook, and she was like, hey, I know about you. Congratulations, and this and that. And I was like, you know about me? And she said, yeah, I know. We actually have a daughter together. Do you also know about his son? And I was like, no.
Wow.
And there's a whole other woman that he has a son with. And when I went back home and I asked him again, I said, this woman is agreeing to do a DNA test. How are you sure these aren't your kids? And he said, no, they're not my kids. Mind you, my friend was with me at the time trying to calm me down because I'm just like figuring all this stuff out. And he's saying that that's the reason he didn't tell me right then and there. And so he wouldn't tell me the truth, so I went to his mom's house and just asked her, and she was like, yes, he does have kids. I did tell him that he needed to tell you sooner. I didn't want to be in the middle of it, which is why we didn't come around to the celebratory event for your wedding.
Wow, there's so much to try to work through here, man. All these trust issues, because essentially, I mean, you married a guy that isn't 100% real.
And the fact that he was lying about it, and on top of lying about it, knew he was lying and was willing to take the test to waste more of your time and more money and everything else, it would just add so many more layers of I wouldn't be able to do this.
Yeah, because it's one thing to hide it, and then it's one thing to get confronted with about it, and then lie about it completely. Because then that tells me you think I'm stupid and you don't respect me.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, I mean,
that's the biggest thing I'm dealing with right now is I feel very manipulated because he knew from the very beginning I would have never dated him because it's just a personal preference. I just don't date men with kids.
yeah.
And then there's something else here too, Zoe. Like if you do want to have kids of your own, a man who denies having children is not a man I want to have kids with.
Oh.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
'Cause that's a special kind of lie right there.
yeah, I mean, what exactly is the advice that you're looking for here? Because I feel like you called up, but you already know in your gut what you're going to do.
I guess I'm just trying to figure out if anyone has been through something similar because I was single for a long time before him, so like I got to know myself, and this is the first time that I've genuinely felt that I want to be with this person, I want to marry this person. Like, people have asked me to marry them before. This is just the first time I've said yes because I genuinely felt like this was my person. He treats me so different. Like, outside of this, we never had any real issues.
Yeah, I guess you would have to ask yourself the kind of person you are. This one here is such a deep lie on so many different levels and so many different times that because of my trust issues, I couldn't continue in this marriage. That would be it for me. And it's easier for me to say than it is for you. I'm not the one in love and feeling all those things. But I would also say to myself, like, I fell in love with a person that I thought had different values or had the same values. And clearly they don't. And that's what everything is built on.
I'm reading the email that you had sent us. So you said you got the wedding annulled after you found out this secret. So now technically you guys are no longer like tied together, correct?
Correct.
And then your sister, who I'm going to side with here, is saying that you need to stay as far away from this man. But your own mother is telling you to stay with him and try to work it out?
Yeah, I think it's because my mom married my stepdad, and my stepdad didn't ever want kids. But she was upfront and honest, like, hey, I have 3 kids. And she was saying my ex-husband had a conversation with my mom and then kind of explained that he was basically just cornered and he wanted to tell me. And he said we would have conversations, like when we would have debates with friends and we'd be at outings, and that I would make comments about not wanting to be men with kids. And I'm so glad that I don't have someone like that. And he said it would make it difficult for him to be able to tell me.
Yeah, don't let her baggage be your baggage.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. This is always an interesting exercise for me. Zoe, if you were giving advice to your best friend Zoe, who came to you with the exact same situation, what would your advice to your friend be?
I would tell her to leave.
There you go.
There it is.
Wah, wah.
And I don't like the whole someone lying to you because they're afraid to tell you the truth because they might lose you. Like that should never fly. At the end of the day, you should have whatever it takes for you to be honest and to stand on business as a man and be honest and then give the person the opportunity to walk away or to stay. But he manipulated you is what he did.
And Zoe, obviously the grand lie is the fact that he had 2 kids and didn't disclose it. But how many little lies did he tell you throughout the relationship? Because did he go your entire relationship without ever seeing his kids? Or did he lie about where he was going to go see his kids?
No, he was lying where he was going. Like, he would tell me he was going to his mom's house. Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
You're going to always wonder what else he's lying about.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think you gave yourself the answer here. Nobody is stuck, Zoe. There are very few people that are stuck. They are making difficult decisions, and they're complicated decisions and going through a really tough time, but don't think that you're stuck.
And is it okay if Abby reaches out to you? Because I think she needs to use you for an episode of her Breakup Breakdown podcast.
Oh, yeah. Please hit me up, Abby at thebertshow.com. I look forward to interviewing you throughout this entire thing.
Oh, Zoe, I'm sorry you're going through this whole thing. Please keep in touch with us, though, okay?
Okay, thank you guys.
All right, bye-bye. I work hard for my money. I work real hard for my money. That's why I don't want to give it to you. But I'll give you an opportunity to try to get it. $100. You want to lose Bert's money? 1-855-BERT Show. I got $100 right here. I'm going to give you a real superficial trivia question. 3 of you guys are going to call up. With every incorrect answer, I take away $10. All right, so call right now. 1-855-BERT Show. And you got a shot at $100 coming up in a couple of seconds. All right, until you guys call in, Abby, the dude, the middle-aged man that you have a crush on, celebrity, says a lot about you.
There's a weird thing that happens in your 20s where all of a sudden you start seeing men pop up on your Instagram feed from celebrity sites and you go, I find that man in his 40s attractive. That's weird. That's never happened before. And so if you have a crush on a middle-aged man actor, it's probably because they're hot, but it's also... it does say something about you specifically depending on who you have a crush on. So the first one is a man we all know and love on the show, Henry Cavill. If you have a crush on this man, here's what it says about you. This is from Sir Jack Knightley on TikTok.
Yours is Henry Cavill. You are the type of girl that will never relate to the girls that like Timothy Chalamet. You are not the type of girl whatsoever who likes skinny boys who are a bit goofy. You like a man with muscles.
Yes.
You also think it's both a weird and good thing that he likes to date young girls because it makes it seem like you have a chance with him, even though you know you don't really.
No. Yeah, I think his girlfriend, fiance, wife, whatever she is, right, mother of his child, I think she's my age. And I'm like, there was a chance this whole time. I know we would never cross paths, but I'm like, we could have.
And he's way more your type than Timothy Chalamet.
Oh my God.
It's not even cool.
I can't even tell you how un my type Timothy Chalamet is physically. He seems like a really cool dude. Like, I would actually love to be friends with Timmy Chalamet, but I just don't want to date him.
He's doing pretty good for himself.
Yeah, he's doing pretty great.
I'd say dating-wise, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing fine with Kylie Jenner. But if you have a crush on everybody's favorite, is he Irish? Cillian Murphy? Irish actor Cillian Murphy from Peaky Blinders. This is what it says about you.
If yours is Cillian Murphy, then you like one of two types of guys. You either like a man who would beat a man up just for touching you and always has a violent stare in their eye, but you know they would never hurt you. Or you like the type of boy who looks like they'd never hurt you, but would definitely do that and would probably play guitar in an indie band.
God, that is so true, man. He is his character in Peaky Blinders. He was
really
so
is.
good. I feel like that's who he is.
I just personally couldn't date a man with better filler than me, and he's really rocking it.
Dude, those cheekbones.
And the lips and the eyes. I mean, he's really got, like, God did work with him. The last one is a classic, one we all know and love ever since he graced our TV screens on Clueless. Of course, how could we forget about Paul Rudd?
If yours is Paul Rudd, then you like the type of guy who would show you a video of a monkey riding a bike on Instagram Reels and think it's the funniest thing ever, even though you wouldn't find it that funny, but you think it's really cute how he does. You also like the type of guys who are very introverted but have a really, really good sense of humor, but only show it to you.
I think that's pretty accurate.
That sounds about Paul Ruddish.
Yep.
It does.
Yeah.
All right, who wants to lose Bert's money? Here is your question today. 1 in 5 say this was one of the most embarrassing things to happen to them on a date. 1 in 5 say this was one of the most embarrassing things to happen to them on a date. What is it? Good morning, Quana. You are on the Bert Show.
Their date left.
Okay, hold on one sec.
Wow, she out the gate with the answer.
Come on, Quana.
She here for the money.
Ain't got any time to waste. You're funny.
All right, Quana, where are you calling us from?
Charleston.
Okay, from Charleston. I don't know why you guys get in so much, but I'm sure glad you guys do on SX in Charleston. All right, Quana, now you can go ahead and tell us what your answer is.
The date left.
The date left.
The date left.
Went to the bathroom, never came back, or just walked out on you. Date left.
1 in 5 say this was one of the most embarrassing things to happen to them on a date. The date just left. That is not the correct answer.
But I like it, and I like your energy.
Good to know about the guys out there in Charleston.
Yes. Now, hang on. We're probably going to get back to you. Elizabeth, good morning. You were on the Bert Show.
Good morning.
Good morning. And where are you calling from, Elizabeth?
Carrollton.
All right, Carrollton. Elizabeth, 1 in 5 say this is one of the most embarrassing things to happen to them on a date. What is it?
Tripped and fell.
Tripped and fell. Okay, that is not the correct answer. We'll take another $10 away. So now we are down to $80 for Megan. Hey, Megan. Hi. Megan, where are you calling from?
Monroe, Georgia.
All right. Appreciate you listening. What is your guess on 1 in 5? Say this is one of the most embarrassing things to happen to them on a date.
I'm thinking they just think the guy is really, I don't know, he's just awkward. And they're just embarrassed being in his presence, I guess.
The dude is just awkward.
You're embarrassed by your choice in men?
I'm just embarrassed to be here with you.
I don't know. Just don't want to be here, man.
It's that secondhand embarrassment that'll get you.
Yeah. Okay, not the correct answer. So now we are down to $70. Back to you, Quana from Charleston. What's up?
Pass gas.
Ooh.
Ask
That's a good
ass.
one. She's going for the fart.
Yep.
All right. Now, again, this is 1 in 5, but nope, that is not the correct answer.
Because I would say more like 99% would be embarrassed by something like that.
For sure.
Okay.
All right, Elizabeth, we are on to you now.
You had food in your teeth the whole day.
Elizabeth, that's what I was thinking.
Same
Food in
here.
the teeth.
You want that food in the teeth? Food in the teeth. That would be really embarrassing, especially if they don't say anything and you're on your way home, you look in the rearview mirror and you're like, oh, how long has that been in there? That is not the correct answer. And now we are at Megan for
$50.
$50. Megan, what do you got?
I'll be honest, I'm having a hard time coming up with an answer.
No, we know that.
Okay.
We knew that last round.
Let's help Megan out. You can take date out of it. If what happened to you in front of another person, what would make you embarrassed if that happened?
If I'm laughing and then I have snot come out of my nose.
There you
All
go.
right, there we go.
Good answer. Megan's back in the game.
Come on, Megan.
All right, Megan, that is not the correct answer. But man, I really want you to win, though. That is not the correct guess. All right, back to Quana now for
$40.
$40, Quana. 1 in 5 say this is one of the most embarrassing things that can happen to them on a date.
Bert.
Bert.
We're going with all the body fluids. We went from
Okay.
fart to booger to burp.
That is not correct. Not the answer that we're looking for. $30, Elizabeth. Good morning.
You spill something on you or him.
You steal something?
Spill.
Spill.
Okay.
I thought I heard still too.
I'd only be a little embarrassed if I stole his watch.
I want to give this money to you, but it's mostly because I'm scared to go back to Megan. But that is not the correct answer.
All right, for $20.
Okay, Megan, have you hung up on us yet? Are you still with us?
No, I'm still here trying.
I'm pulling
good for you.
We're so pulling for you.
You got this, Megan.
All right, 1 in
God,
5.
don't.
It's the most embarrassing thing that can happen on a date, Megan. Let's go.
Yeah.
You want to phone a friend?
You know when it's your turn. Like every time.
You called us.
It's going in rotation.
Maybe I do need to hang up.
No.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Come on, you got one more in you.
I don't know what would be awkward on the first date except for like if he was married and
Yeah.
That'd be awkward.
All right, that would be pretty
I'd agree.
embarrassing.
Yeah, if you had a wife at home, I'd be
Okay.
humiliated.
All right. Nope, that's not it.
Okay.
Nope. So what are we down to?
We are down to Quana for the last guest for $10.
All right, so Megan, there's good news. We're not coming back to you.
She said good.
Bye, Megan.
All right, Quada, what do we got?
The person wanted to split the check.
Person wanting to split the check would be embarrassing. That is not. None of you guys won this one.
Do you guys have any ideas?
Throw up.
Throw up.
No,
Nope.
you got to be embarrassed 100% of the time
Yeah.
that
Right,
happens.
right.
So it's got to be. So you said 1 in 5.
Uh-huh.
Forgot your wallet.
Ooh, that's
Nope.
a good one.
That is a good one. Not the
You-
right one.
Get stood up.
Didn't get stood up. Nope.
That's a good
Call
one.
him the wrong name.
There it is. There it is. Now, the old phrase, karma is a bee, right? That's exactly what we might be talking about here with our War of the Roses. Chrissy's thinking that maybe her boyfriend is messing around on her because the boyfriend called her the wrong name. And to make it worse, it was his ex's name. But there's some side text here also. Hey, Chrissy, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. All right. So you wanted us to help you test your boyfriend's loyalty. Why?
Well, I might have like a case of what goes around comes around. I've been dating him for almost a year, but I was the other woman in his last relationship. He cheated on his ex with me. And now I just can't kick the feeling that I'm getting a taste of my own medicine.
Is there any wiggle room here to where we can see you more sympathetically? Like, were they on a break?
That was for you.
What's that?
Were they on a break?
Well, I'm not really sure.
I'll take that as a no.
Well, now that I think of it, yes, they were.
He was taking a break from her at the moment, or the 2 minutes.
All right, so he messed around on her with you.
Right.
And then they broke up and the two of you forged a relationship because the heart wants what the heart wants, right, Chrissy?
I don't know if we're talking about the heart.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a year and it's been a pretty good year, but for the past month, he's been slipping up and calling me by her name.
And this is just recent? Like he's gone 11 months not saying her name until the last 4 weeks.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. So the first time we're in bed and he mumbled it like under his breath, and I kind of like, but like ouch. And then a week later, he did it again when we were arguing. He got really frustrated and he's like, you always do this, Emily. And when I called him on it, he just looked embarrassed and said I was overreacting. And then the worst one was last week. We were out to dinner. The waitress goes, "Oh, would you like dessert?" And he turned to me and just very calmly said, "What do you think, Emily?"
No.
Okay, so that's 3.
My stomach dropped. He tried to cover it up by saying, "Oh, it's a slip," but come on, 3 times in 1 month, something isn't right. My gut's saying, And if he was calling me her name right after they broke up, maybe, but a year in, it just doesn't make sense. So he was cheating on her with me, and he never once made that mistake. I'm starting to wonder if he's, back with her, and that's why this is going on.
Okay.
Just curious, do you know how long they were together before he left her for you?
Yeah, like 2 years.
I don't think there was an answer that was going to make it okay.
No, there wasn't. 7 years.
4 weeks.
7 months. What were you trying to accomplish?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, let's think about the situations where he is calling you his ex's name. So there's the mumbling, which is just kind of random. Maybe it was in his sleep or something. It's not like y'all were getting it on and it came out. That wouldn't be great. And then when he's yelling at you, maybe it was a Freudian slip during a moment of angry passion, because that's how he remembers his relationship ending. And so while he was feeling those intense emotions, he was remembering how he felt around his ex that he doesn't like anymore because now he's with you. And then the dessert thing, I don't know. I don't know if just chocolate cake
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
reminds him of your
We're not looking for perfection here. That's plenty.
Yeah, the odds are in your favor here,
Okay.
Chrissy.
How dare you?
She is reaching out to us for help.
All right, Chrissy, so you wanted us to test him with the War of the Roses, where we send him the fake flowers to see who he's going to send them to, which we did. So if you hang out here for just a couple of seconds when we come back, we'll tell you exactly what he did, okay? So we were talking to Chrissy here, who thinks there might be a little karma coming into play and is wondering if her boyfriend is now messing around on her with the woman that he was messing around on Chris. No. You got I feel
this.
like Minority Report. You take it.
You can do it.
You take it.
I believe in you.
You take it.
Okay. Chrissy has a boyfriend.
I thought her name was Emily.
Chrissy has a boyfriend. Chrissy has a boyfriend. They've been dating for almost a year, and she thinks he's cheating on her with his ex. But the twist is, when he was with the ex, he cheated on the ex with Chrissy. So he's been calling Chrissy by the name of Emily. And Emily's the woman he used to be with. And when he was with, he had Chrissy as a side piece. But they broke up and he and Chrissy have forged a relationship. But now he's slipped up not once, not twice, but thrice.
Exactly what I just said.
Calling her Emily instead of Chrissy. So she wants us to do War of the Roses, which is what, Abby?
War of the Roses is this thing we do to catch cheaters to see if they're going to shenan once, they'll shenan again.
That's fire. I like that.
I stole that from the internet. I can't take credit for that one. But anyway, we're going to basically send Chrissy's boyfriend an email saying, hey, do you want to send free flowers to somebody in your life? If so, pick one of these. And one's like, I love my girlfriend. I would never do anything ever. Here's some roses. And then the other's like, I'm definitely banging that girl from The Office. Here's petunias. And based off of their answer and what they say in the note, it tells us whether or not they're stepping out on the relationship.
All right, Chrissy, you ready for the results of this?
I guess.
Okay, so did he send the roses, the free roses that we're never going to send, to you or to the ex that he might be messing around with?
All right, Chrissy, we sent a promotional email to the email address you provided us for your boyfriend. He was offered a free bouquet of flowers, and he was able to choose from these options. First, the Second Chance bouquet, a romantic and hopeful mix of red roses and white lilies. The red roses symbolize love and passion, while the white lilies represent purity and new beginnings. This bouquet gives off the vibe of someone wanting to prove they've changed and deserve another shot.
This is double entrapment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very well played.
Okay, I may have gotten really into the bouquets this time. These are good. Next is the Karma Collection.
Come on.
All right.
We're going to find out if Karma is her boyfriend.
Ooh, I see you, Taylor. A striking and dramatic arrangement of deep purple and black calla lilies, accented with dark red roses. The calla lilies represent mystery and transformation. The dark red roses add a sultry touch, making this bouquet both elegant and symbolic. Next, we have the Make It Right bouquet.
Oh, it just keeps going.
A heartfelt arrangement featuring a dozen deep red roses signifying love and deep emotion, with a single white rose in the center to symbolize a sincere apology and a desire to start fresh.
Oh, my God.
The contrast between the red and white highlights the mix of passion and regret, making this the perfect please forgive me bouquet. And then lastly, I'm glad I pricked you. A fiery mix of orange roses, red carnations, and sharp blue thistle. The vibrant colors symbolize passion and drama, while the thistle adds a touch of well-deserved sting. All right. Chrissy, if we know anything about cheaters, is that they're cheap. And they often go for the free flowers. And your boyfriend did, okay?
Uh-oh.
He responded and ordered the Make It Right bouquet.
Uh-oh.
A heartfelt arrangement featuring a dozen deep red roses, a single white rose in the center to symbolize a sincere apology, making this a perfect please forgive me bouquet. And he set delivery for tomorrow, and the delivery is set for her home address.
Yay. Okay.
But it sounds like the guy's got plenty to apologize for. I mean, he has been calling you the wrong name for the past month, so maybe he's apologizing that. Who knows?
Okay. Okay.
The card says, I can't say sorry enough. Please forgive me.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay.
He's sending them to Emily.
Wait, but did he mean to write Chrissy?
Right.
I can't with you. I cannot with you right now.
Abby's especially dark. She didn't get the house that she wanted.
That's what's going on. Okay.
Just looking up inspection quotes. It's a whole thing.
So it's a little, I'm having a little difficulty being completely sympathetic to you because
hence the jokes.
As you told us, you were the one that he was messing around with and broke up with the other girl. Now he's doing the same thing to you. So
I mean, two wrongs don't make a right. What he's doing is not right. But I get what Bert is saying. But it now seems pretty confirmed that he has been trying to rekindle his relationship with Emily.
If he's going to shenan twice, he's going to shenan again.
Okay, you only get one giant guffaw.
Oh my gosh. I'm really, I'm so disappointed and shocked.
Shocked.
How you get them is how you lose them, man. That's kind of how it goes.
More wisdom. First Abby's about the shenanigans, and then that.
And that wasn't from the internet. That's from the heart.
All right, Chrissy. So at least you know now. You also got a guy that's been very consistent. He is cheating on everybody.
He has a brand.
So I don't know how you want to handle that. Are you going to roll around to him and confront him on it? You just going to break up? What do you think?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, do you have any suggestions? Because I don't know.
I hear there's some free flowers you could send him.
Now, come on now.
Wow.
Hey,
You got to move on. I mean, if you stay with him, you're going to have to change your name.
That's the only option. To what, Emily?
What? To sucker.
All right, Christy, let us know what you did, okay?
All right.
All right,
thank
bye-bye.
you.
Jessica said the same things happened to her. Hey, Jessica, good morning. You're on the Bert Show.
Good morning. Karma is a bee, and she's not afraid to show her face. So my sister-in-law was married, and she cheated on her husband with this guy who also cheated on his wife. Now, obviously, they got together. They've been together for a couple of years, and I know for sure that he is cheating on her. And I'm not going to tell her.
Because if you say your sister-in-law, so she was with your brother and she cheated on your brother and your brother cheated on her?
No, she is my husband's sister.
Oh, your husband. Okay, so it's his side. Yeah, leave all that mess on his side, not your side.
I know there's always...
she's not my favorite person anyway, so.
Yeah, there's always this kind of paranoia, and thank you for calling, Jessica, that if you're the one that he was screwing around with, that's going to happen to you, and sure enough, I mean, that's a pretty consistent sign right there.
It's definitely a chance you take.
So you need a new show to watch? We got some recommendations for you here. I think it's almost to a point. No, we're past the point of there are too many options when it comes to shows. Like, where do you find them? Where are they playing? You have so many different ways to absorb content now that I don't know where to find like the best ones for me. So for me, it's like when friends know me, they will suggest things because they know that I'm going to like it, right? So I've got two that I'm watching right now. One is a little bit nichey, so I'm not sure you're going to totally dig it, but I absolutely love it. It's called 1,000 Blows on Hulu, and it's about this Jamaican boxer that works his way up in England, but it's got a whole bunch of subtext also. There's brother fighting. There's a romance going on it also. And if you liked Peaky Blinders back in the day, it's from the same writer. So you probably love it. And the other one, we've been talking about a little bit, Running Point on Netflix. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I'm watching it because Cassie told me to watch it.
It's really good. And we've been talking about Brenda Song, who was in Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. But I didn't realize till a couple of days ago that the main character in it, outside of Kate Hudson, is Tom Hanks' son.
Chet Hanks, right?
I didn't realize it.
He does a good job, too.
Yeah, really great.
Playing what I think is probably himself.
It probably is.
But it's fun. It's giving like early 2000s rom-coms again, except elevated. I don't know how to explain it. It's not as cheesy and hokey, but watching Kate Hudson, who is doing an incredible job, by the way, it just brings me back to the days when you'd like put on How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, that kind of thing. But one thing about this is every time I'm like, oh, I see where they're going with this. They don't go that way. They bust up the formula, which kind of keeps me on my toes, and I like it.
Abby, what are you watching?
I'm watching Running Point because Cassie told me to watch it. And honestly, like, I don't know what it is, but when somebody recommends a show to me, when someone tells me I need to watch something, for some reason it makes me not want to watch it. I don't know if I have a problem with authority. I don't know if I have a problem being told what to do. But when someone's like, oh, you need to watch it, I feel like I'm being cornered into 8 hours of doing something. Whereas the only way for me to really watch a show is to start seeing like clips on TikTok.
Find it yourself.
So yeah, for me to like discover it on my own, it has to feel like my idea. So Cassie was talking about it, and then I saw some clips on TikTok, and I was like, I do love Brenda Song. It's the Brenda Song essence right now. And it's such an easy, fast-paced watch that once you turn it on, you're going to be sucked in.
The two shows I've been watching, one we've been talking about all the time, which is Paradise, which is, that show is so good.
Have you gotten through it yet?
No, so that's the thing. It's so good that I don't want to finish it.
I understand it.
Like, I don't want that feeling of it being over.
And the finale is so good that it leaves you like, dang it, I'm going to have to wait.
Yep, everybody keeps saying that. So what I did was I started watching another show that was recommended to me called The Pit, which is, it's like if you went to hospital shows, which ironically I'm not. Like, I never got into Grey's Anatomy or any of that, but it's similar to that, but it's everyone who's ever worked in an emergency room or close to has said like this is the most accurate representation that they've ever seen of what actually goes down in an emergency room, especially a popular one day to day, and it's very good.
Is this the show that Noah Wiley is in?
Yes, and wasn't he in ER?
ER back in the day. Okay, what do you got?
All right, so the two that I'm currently watching, and I've told you guys about this earlier, is the Fox Hollows Murders, and man, It's about a serial killer in Indiana in the 90s, and the way the gay community was treated is so atrocious. It's going to be infuriating. It's going to make you so upset, as it should. And then how the state failed them, and how this one coroner is trying to make it right and do what's right by these victims and by these families. But then there is a twist at the end of episode 3, and what you thought you knew, you didn't know. OMG. And then, of course, I actually prefer the spinoffs of Yellowstone more than I actually enjoy Yellowstone. So 1923 is back, and it's streaming on Paramount Plus, and I friggin' love that show.
Cass, what you got? I'm sorry.
So I'm doing Running Point. I started watching Paradise based on y'all's conversation, which is so good. But then I'm also really into The Recruit on Netflix with Noah Centineo.
Did you see it just got canceled?
No!
It got it's 2 seasons it got canceled.
Oh, man. It was actually good.
And you said it was better than The Night Agent, which I really liked.
Night Agent is okay, but The Recruit did it right. It felt like, and I really loved it. But the one I'm obsessed with right now is The Diplomat with Kerry Russell.
You have the capacity to watch 4 shows at the same time?
Yeah, it just depends. Am I in bed on my phone or in my car hiding from my family? It just depends what I have access to.
Okay.
But The Diplomat, Allison Janney is in it as well, but Kerry Russell, incredible actress. It's like a politics kind of thing. She's appointed to be the ambassador to London. And it's so good. And there's tension with the prime minister, and he's really hot. But it's also like, even if you don't like romance, you can really get into it. And even if you don't like politics, you can get into the drama.
When I try to watch either 3 or more shows at the same time, I forget which character is in which show.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
I'm lost, man.
I have done that, and actually, like, it'll be months later, and then I'll be like, oh crap, I never finished that show.
Yep. All right, Kristen, we promised them a bad take of the week. You got it.
Oh, man. I don't know what these men were thinking. Actually, they weren't thinking at all. So this comes from @ProChoiceWithHeart on Instagram. And she's going to tell you about a product, all right, that these 2 men came up with. They're both German. They presented this on Germany's version of Shark Tank, which is called Lion's Den. So these 2 guys show up. They're looking for people to invest in their product, and this is the product.
Have you guys heard of pinky gloves? Apparently, these 2 dudes think periods and tampons are so disgusting that they invented these pink gloves that they are marketing to women to put on when they have to change their tampon or pad. Honestly, what?
Why?
Exactly.
What? Okay.
So I'm going to just read the article. A German entrepreneur duo and their celebrity investor made public apologies after their latest invention was met with disbelief and ridicule on social media. We're talking about the Pinky Gloves. So Pinky Gloves is a product the 2 men invented to solve what they considered a pressing issue: how to discreetly dispose of tampons and sanitary pads. One Twitter user wrote, "What do people who menstruate want? Free and accessible period products. What do they get? Pink gloves so that cis men don't have to see any red in the bathroom toilet." So the 2 founders have since responded to the outcry, saying that it had become clear that we still have to learn a lot and we have some blind spots. And they had claimed on TV to understand women because they had been married and had lived with women, and they saw the period product in the trash can, and they thought, well, I don't want to see that. Let's make ladies buy pink gloves for $11.
Oh my God.
So they got blind spots like Stevie Wonder has blind spots.
Every spot is blind.
They're very, very, very blind.
You can say I have a newfound respect for improv after we gave it a shot some weeks back. It is not as easy as you think it is, and that's why when I saw this on my timeline, I was laughing so hard at how brilliant I thought these answers were.
So we'll have to circle back to that improv night, because I think Dad's Garage was so good to us. I think they made it too easy.
They set us up to succeed,
They
definitely
did.
not to fail.
That's not what we're about.
Nah.
We're about failing.
We got to really get in there and get dirty, figure out how hard it really is. But these guys are complete professionals from Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Dude,
and I
used to
always
be one of my favorite shows.
They are so talented, man, and so good at this. And this clip had me rolling because it is an improv clip from the show, and these are things that you can say to your dog that you cannot say to your girlfriend.
Things you can say to your dog, but not your girlfriend. Come.
There's a hand motion too.
Grab the ball. Grab the ball.
That hand motion too.
Get off the mailman. Get off the mailman.
I think they're a little better than us at it.
Solid.
Yeah,
Very solid.
That was great.
All right, Jackson, you did it again. How did you embarrass yourself this time in front of your girlfriend's family?
Oh, boy. This is going to be painful.
Did you hit somebody else with a golf ball?
No.
Okay.
No, this one does not have to do with golf, thankfully. That was the first big mishap that happened last year where I hit a caddy with a golf ball in front of her dad and her brother-in-law at one of the nicest golf courses in the entire world.
Oh, I hit my ex-wife's dad. Right in the shoulder, and the way he went down, I thought I hit him in the jaw.
Oh, my God. Well, fortunately, the caddy was okay.
And how old was the caddy again?
He was like 70.
Oh, bless.
Yeah. He was a retired Jersey state trooper. And,
He just took my man out.
Served this community his entire life until he got on a golf course, and that's where he lost.
Legend has it that was the last round of golf he ever caddied for.
Was dodging bullets, and now he's dodging golf balls. But this time, this happened this past weekend. So I was up in this very small town in Virginia with my girlfriend and her family, supporting them, unfortunately, for a funeral. And I had never met the guy before, but of course I went to join them to, be supportive and joining them with, the whole celebration of life. And as sad as funerals are, there's also a celebratory aspect to it, right? So on Saturday, we had the actual service, and then afterwards, this is a super small community. Imagine like smaller than Macon. Like that's the kind of hometown vibe that you're getting. And this guy was sort of, a big deal in the community. So they really kind of showed out for him when they heard the news. And so this one restaurant, a very nice restaurant that was him and his wife's absolute favorite, they decided to close down for the entire day and basically leave for the entire family and friends to sort of join in a celebration afterwards and get together afterwards, right?
Very, very kind gesture.
Very kind gesture. So after the ceremony ends, we head over to this restaurant, and it's like, full open bar. They've got the whole spread of food laid out. It's like this whole thing. And we're basically spending from like 2 p.m. till the evening there. They had it all, reserved for us. They had a microphone where people could share stories of his life and all this kind of stuff. So as much as we're celebrating, I'm having a few drinks. Everyone around us is celebrating and having a few drinks.
You're in mourning. You're in pain.
Exactly.
Masking the pain with what's your drink of choice?
I'm a big bourbon guy.
Okay.
Right. Did you ever meet this person?
I had never met him before.
Okay,
but
it still hurts.
I know. Still definitely
He hurts for his girlfriend.
Exactly. It was more of an empathizing pain.
Yes.
So having a lot of drinks.
Turns out I was hurting for her on Friday night also.
Trying to pace myself because I know that we're going to be here for a while. And so after all the friends had left, it was kind of just meant for family afterwards. And that was where like the dinner service was going to be for the evening. And so I'm sitting in one of those like corner round booths with a bunch of people, and we're all hanging out talking. Someone brought a deck of cards. We're playing. We're all having a good time. And right before dinner service is about to start, someone comes up to us and is like, hey, like you guys should move over to one of the more main tables to, kind of be more part of everyone that was there. So we all get up, and everyone's still kind of mingling and talking, and I go and look at the drink that's on the table, and I'm like, I better grab that. And there's only like a sip left, okay? And I'm drinking bourbon neat, okay? So just straight bourbon, all right? And there's a little sip left in the glass. So I pick up the glass, and I'm like, let me just finish this so that I can go grab another one. And I put the glass up to my lips. And sometimes when you take a drink, you kind of inhale a little bit. You kind of breathe in a little bit.
Oh, no. And then that coughing fit.
I breathe in, and a drop of this bourbon shoots into the back of the old throat.
No.
And I don't even have time to react the way that this hit me. And I proceed to do a sitcom style spit take all over the place.
Oh my God. So it literally came out of your mouth?
It literally like sprayed out of my mouth all over a wall that was right in front of me. Kind of collateral damage onto some other people. And I was so embarrassed that I literally just had to like take a knee and like kind of almost act up, coughing and choking a little more than I actually was, because of I couldn't bear the thought of looking anybody in the eyes.
I'm dying.
Yeah, literally. People
It's just like Jackson. I put the attention on him.
Yeah, a real narcissist move there for me.
He's calling it maybe the grossest thing he has ever witnessed.
I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say I've seen some nasty things in my life in person, but I have never seen anything like this. this made me, this ended my night. I was done for, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. So I get a phone call, and it's one of those days where I think, okay, I've spent most of my day kind of to myself with my family. I'm having one of those weekends, and I think my night is going to be very uneventful. And my dude calls me out of nowhere, and he's like, I know you're going through it, man. I got to get you out the house. I got somewhere I want you to come with me. I said, okay, cool. So it turns out he has a friend who is having a housewarming party, and he was invited, and he wanted me to come. So apparently this friend is doing really well for himself, and he just bought a really nice house, and he was having a party to celebrate. Cool. So I get there, and we get there pretty late. Like, you can tell the party has already been going on for a while, because everybody is drunk. It's a different kind of party in here, because what they're doing, which I've never seen anything like this before, is like he has it set up like a casino style, but instead of everybody playing for money, they're playing for drinks. So if you win, you safe, but if you lose, you have to take a shot.
Oh, boy.
Which I'm like, that can't be a good idea.
This is going to escalate real quick.
Exactly. So you can just feel how drunk everybody is. But it's not like anybody's wilding or doing nothing crazy. Everybody's just having a good time, but everybody's sauced up. And I was like, we need to get a drink immediately, because we are nowhere near on the level of everybody that's there. So the party goes on, and then there's one moment when I go outside, me and my guy go outside to get some fresh air. There are two women sitting on the bench. I don't know these women. I just met them for the first time. But it's pretty obvious that one of the women is not okay. Like, she's probably had one too many and maybe should go home. So I'm like, is your girl all right? Because she looked like she not going to make it. So I hear like someone on the phone, because I guess they were FaceTiming the girl's sister, say, no, whoever that is, she is not all right. Please get her home. Like, thank you for being a concerned citizen. Get my sister home. So we're kind of like laughing, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, I don't know what's going on here. I want no part of this. I go back in the party. This is where it was odd. The girl that literally just looked like she was out of it comes back in the party maybe 5 minutes later, and she's bouncing off the walls again. Like nothing ever happened. I don't know what the transformation, I don't know how it happened, but it happened. So the party goes on. Now, where he is standing, the guy who owns the home, this is my first time meeting him too. I don't know much about him, but he has really nice furniture. So I kind of get what he did, but I really don't get what he did at the same time. So he's like sitting on his couch, and she is standing at the end of the same couch, and you can see it. Like, you can see her having those moments.
You know, those doubt look right there. Like, am I this drunk, and how do I get to the bathroom?
Right. And that's the thing, where I don't know if she just was that drunk or what, but she doesn't start going to the bathroom. Like, you would think that's the first thing you do, but she's just standing there. And it's as if she's trying to stop herself from doing it, and she thinks that she can. So at some point, you see it in real time. She realizes, like, I can't stop this. This is happening.
She's nowhere near a sliding glass door, window, nothing.
No.
This is about to either get on his carpet or his couch. It's one or the other. And this dude jumps up, and you just see him go, no! Yep. And he runs over to her, and I guess out of just instinct, he puts his hand out.
No, that's not instinct.
Puts his hand out to catch it. But it's so much that the hand wasn't enough. So at this point, he grabs his shirt and he's trying to like get it all from getting on the couch, but at the same time trying to direct her to the bathroom.
And he's not having like these sympathy, like, because when I see that, then I start to have the sympathy things.
I can smell it.
I feel like I was from where I was standing, but he was so concerned about his furniture. Like, that was his whole thing. Like, please do not throw up on my couch and on my carpet. So he's trying to catch it. And I've never seen someone throw up this much in my life. It just would not stop. To the point, he turns her around. He finally gets her to turn around. And it kind of looks like, okay, she's done. She's wrapping it up here. And he's trying to motion her to the bathroom. But right before he can even get her to go in that direction, she hits the wall. More comes out. No. Now it's on the wall.
Oh, my God.
He couldn't catch that. So it's on the wall. A little bit gets on like his bookshelf that he had there. And then finally he gets her into the bathroom.
Too late then.
Oh, it was too late.
No.
It was everywhere.
No.
It was the nastiest thing I have ever witnessed at a party. And I don't think she's ever showing her face again.
I know that inner dialogue too when you're trying to talk yourself out of it. But usually for me, I've already made it to a bathroom and I'm staring at myself in the mirror and I'm talking to myself like, you can do this.
Yeah.
You can do this. You start breathing a little bit, then you start sweating and wondering one way or the other, but I've already made it to the bathroom at that point.
At some point, you have to say, whether I have to or not, I'm going into a bathroom so nobody witnesses it. But she did not. She let it fly.
And do you ever really get that smell entirely out?
No.
Nah.
There's always like a little hint of it.
Damn, bro.
Grand opening, grand closing, if that was my house.
All right, so I sent this story to Kristen, and I thought she would have more of a reaction to it, especially when you're talking about women faking their pregnancies.
Yeah.
I thought you would react harsher to it, and there's an IVF sort of element to this as well.
And I think that's why, because of the IVF element of it. Hey, either you got to play the system or the system's going to play you.
Ooh.
And if anybody has ever dealt with infertility and IVF and how expensive the treatments are, sometimes a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. So I'm just going to read you some in this article and go ahead and give you a trigger warning because this is going to be about a pregnancy prank, which we have talked about on the show. And I have said that I've evolved. I used to take those really, really personally. And now I'm coming to the realization and having been through the different stages of maybe I want to have kids, maybe I don't want to have kids. I do want to have kids and I can't have kids. So now I'm dealing with infertility. Then being able to go through that and have a kid, I've seen it from all these different perspectives, meaning a pregnancy prank from all these different perspectives, right? So this British porn star, Bonnie Blue, claimed she faked being pregnant to give back to her fans and raise money to cover someone's IVF treatment. So she's a controversial figure. There's some history there that we're not going to get into because she's gotten stuff for things she's done in the past. And so she denies that she was stating she was pregnant. She just said she hinted at it in some of her posts. But one clip that she posted, she actually said, so condoms have a 99.9% chance of actually stopping, a pregnancy. But if you're sleeping with 1,057 men, the chances of me falling pregnant was 100%. Yeah, no, she slept with 1,057 men. Dang. Now, her latest...
What I'm thinking is somebody's got to be 1,057th. I'm not really concerned about her. I'm concerned about the dude.
Somebody has to be last.
Yeah,
if that pregnancy was real, it would be a hell of an episode of Maury.
I want to run a 5K for that dude.
He's going to rent out a whole stadium. But her latest rage bait of, faking pregnancy has fallen flat with many people pointing out that fertility struggles are no laughing matter. So she posted this 15-minute long video, which she's addressing the blowback. She said she would never, ever lie about pregnancy as it's a step too far. She says, I always wanted to give back, and this was a way for me to do that. So the last 24 hours, I've hinted at being pregnant, but I never confirmed I was pregnant because I would never, ever lie about that. Now that phrase or that sentence right there, I'm like, girl, you knew what you were doing. Just if you're going to do it, just own it. And she said, I tried to get pregnant for a long amount of time. It was honestly the most lonely experience. So if I was to have seen someone joking about pregnancy, I wouldn't have seen the funny side. And she also said getting pregnant was very expensive, adding that she was planning to use the wealth from her explicit content to pay for somebody else's IVF journey. So it's a story with a lot of layers. I don't know how much I believe of what she's saying, but needless to say, it was impressive clickbait to say the least.
Yeah, if you're a woman that has the values to sleep with 1,057 men, I think you're probably capable of lying once or twice. Also,
I'd say so.
Call me judgmental.
I think you're on to something here.
Hey, we listen and we don't judge.
No,
Bert.
I'm definitely judging.
Okay.
I'm judging.
100%.
The Bert Show.